Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today, it is finally time to get, well, I say it's time to get spooky. This is not spooky Vampiro, though. This is Heartthrob Vampiro. If you're my age and you came up watching wrestling around the same time I did, then Vampiro to you probably looks like this. But years before we saw him in WCW, Vampiro was a massive superstar in Mexico and was just considered a hunka burnin' wrestling love. I'm a huge fan of Vampiro. This is from Boss Fight Studios, Legends of Lucha Libre Fanaticos line. This is comparable to Mattel's Basics. They have another line that I can't, let's see here. They don't have the other line mentioned on here. But they also have an analog for the Elite line that has a lot more articulation, accessories, and detail. Well, I'm not going to say a lot more detail, but more articulation and accessories. I found this guy at GameStop, and these have been available for a while, but with sometimes when it's sitting there in front of you at retail, it's a lot easier to buy than just, well, I'll order it online and we'll see what it looks like. This was a matter of, wow, this figure's right here. It looks great. I got to get it. So as part of our spooky toy reviews, which normally I do a lot more in October, but this October, one, there's been a lot of G.I. Joe, and two, it's just, there aren't a lot of horror toys that I want right now. So we're going to open up Vampiro. Cool blister card, pretty basic, but okay. It's a little bent up. It's got a nice thick blister card, but like I said, it was at GameStop, and they're not technically a toy retailer. You've got some stats on the back here, which I appreciate. Boy, that glare is killer, isn't it? Let's see. We'll do a little zoom in. Vampiro is 6'2", 250 pounds, from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Debuted in 1985. The finishing move is the nail in the coffin. Other figures in this wave include Ultimo Dragon, Hijo del Perro Aguayo, and Black Taurus. They had all of them. I passed on, even though he was big in WCW, and WWE later on, I passed on Ultimo Dragon. But I will be reviewing Black Taurus because I'm a huge fan of Impact Wrestling, and I will buy pretty much anybody in Impact that gets released, I'll buy. So, or gets produced as a figure. Wow, released really isn't the right word when you're talking about wrestling, is it? Anybody that gets produced as a figure from Impact, I will buy. Okay, so let's open up and then talk a little bit more about the packaging. The graphical design on this is very, very cool. They've got a great image of Vampiro on here. It's very eye-catching design. It looks cool. It's clearly wrestling, but it looks good. Like, it doesn't look like, I mean, Boss Fight Studio has been around for a long time. They know what they're doing. But this looks like a professional retail product and not like an independent, you know how they look a little Photoshoppy sometimes. This looks great. All right. I do have one other Fanaticos figure, and that's Taya Valkyrie, who they just announced, as a matter of fact, as coming soon in a wave of their deluxe figures alongside a Vampiro that is his Wrestling Society X WCW appearance. But I got this one anyway because I gotta have a Vampiro. Just like I'm fine with the fact that I bought that Taya Valkyrie, even though there's a better version coming out. So these figures, you get a little production schmutz on his kick pad there. That'll come off no problem. These are, oh man, look at that. Not a cut joint at the waist. So the crotch piece is a softer, like PVC plastic. And the waist, rather than being a cut joint, is a nice ball joint. Look at that. Oh man, I love it. Come on, Mattel. Step into the current year, please. The portrait is, well, here we go. I guess this zoom is just happening all the time now, which I'm sure you guys appreciate. The portrait is phenomenal. The paint, and look at that. You can see the red in his braids. This is, look at, you can even see he's got the fade, or the shaved head under his braids. Man, this is great. Got a lot of range of motion in that head. Feels like a double barbell in there. Moves around a lot. Tattoos look great. They are not like Sharpie black. They're faded just enough to look like tattoos. And his musculature and everything like looks good. Articulation is, there we go. You've got a swivel at the top of the single jointed elbow. You do have wrist hinges. And they go up and down. His wrist bands, which if you'll notice, one of them is like a bandana style wrapped around, and the other one is more of an actual wristband. They are separate pieces that can be, what I like to do with wristbands is kind of slide them down a little bit to cover up the wrist joint. The elbows are a little tough to get moving, but they move. They're good. Gosh, this is a great figure. This is nicer for sure. Okay, so look at the way the hip joints are done. You've got a ball joint there, but it's got a huge amount of rotation at the top of the thigh without actually having a thigh swivel, which I prefer. I think cuts on the thighs are ugly. I'd rather not have them. Single jointed knees that have a pretty deep bend. And combine that. Oh, look at those ankles too. Man, look at the range on those things. Kick pads sculpted beautifully. The boots look great. I mean, the people that make these are wrestling fans. They know their stuff. Look at all the seams and all the detail. That is fantastic. And those ankles are standard modern articulation ankles. As I said, these are... This is a much higher quality figure. Now, granted, Mattel is in the process of updating their basics. Yeah, he can't quite balance on bent knees, but... Oh! That foot just popped right off, but guess what? It pops right back on. Mattel is in the process of improving their basics. I think maybe the next wave to hit retail is supposed to have the improved articulation that may compete with these. We will see, but for the time being, this is a great action figure. And finally, I've got a modern 1/12 scale Vampiro. I've always been a big Vampiro fan. I don't remember ever seeing his WCW figures at retail, so I've never had a Vampiro figure. I'm thrilled to have one. I'm thrilled that there's another one coming out that is, whoa, too far out, that is going to be even more articulated and detailed than this one. So there you go. Oh, and I didn't really even talk about his tights. If you can see all of the folds and stuff, just all of that detailed work, the black and the red, where they meet, the waistband and the patterns on the legs. Very, very clean paint application. This is a great action figure. I'm thrilled to have it. So there you go. If you see Vampiro, he's apparently prices have already gone up a little bit on him online. Big Bad probably still has him. You might be able to still get him from Boss Fight's website. If you see him at GameStop, grab him there, because it's just, this is a killer figure. And keep an eye out. The Wrestling Society X WCW Deluxe one is supposed to be out second quarter of next year. It's up for pre-order on Big Bad, so check that out. There you go, Vampiro, the oh gosh, Vampiro Canadiense, something like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Have a spooky Halloween, and until next time, look into my beautiful face. I am Vampiro. Hey, guess what? I'm back, because once again I forgot to do something I'd planned to do. Very important, Boss Fight Studios, their first line of wrestling figures, a lot of people said that they were small. So we are going to take a look here at Mattel's, a recent Mattel Shawn Michaels Elite versus Vampiro. Shawn Michaels is billed as 6'1", with horrible, hideous white pegs in his legs. And Vampiro is billed at 6'2". As you can see, Vampiro is a little shorter than Michaels, but in wrestling figure sizing, to me, they can go on the shelf together. The Michaels figure is about 6 3/4 inches. Vampiro is just under 6 3/4 inches. I mean, we're talking 6'1" and 6'2". To me, they work. That is absolutely an acceptable size to me. So Taya Valkyrie is the only one I've got from the first wave, and she's definitely smaller than she should be compared to WWE women. But again, like, she can go on the shelf. Whatever. But as far as Vampiro goes, to me, Vampiro and HBK standing next to each other, this is about what it's going to look like. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.